There's something different about the world after midnight. The air feels heavier. The silence lasts too long. And every shadow seems to breathe on its own. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 3 real stories that happened when the world was asleep. Stories that began with something small, a noise, a whisper, a mistake, and ended with a nightmare that left permanent scars. So turn off the lights, get comfortable, and listen closely, because these are 3 real horror stories that happened in the middle of the night. If you ever hear knocking at your door past midnight, don't open it. And after hearing this story, you won't ever be tempted to. My name is Lena. This happened 2 years ago when I was living alone for the first time. It was 2:41 a.m., a time that already feels wrong. I was half asleep when I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Not loud, not aggressive, just deliberate. At first, I froze. My brain tried to explain it away. The neighbor, a mistake, a branch hitting the door, anything but a person standing outside. But then I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm, same slow, patient timing. And someone knew I was awake. I live in a rural town, no traffic, no late-night visitors. So I did the stupid thing. I went to check the peephole. But the peephole was dark, not empty, not clear. Something was blocking it. Then a man's voice whispered through the door. "Miss, I need help. Please, open the door." His voice wasn't panicked, not desperate. It was slow, too calm, like he was reciting a line he had practiced. My heart dropped, my hands shook, and my instinct screamed, "Do not speak." A few seconds passed. I stayed silent. Then the voice changed. It dropped to a low, angry tone. "I know you're in there." I backed away from the door slowly. Every hair on my neck stood up. And then I heard the sound that still haunts me. The man snickered, a low, breathy laugh, like he had just seen something funny. I didn't want to look again, but I did. This time, the peephole wasn't dark. I could see part of a face, an eye looking right at me. Too close, too excited. He whispered again, "Pretty girl like you shouldn't be alone." I grabbed my phone to call the police, but before I could finish dialing, the doorknob started to turn. Slowly at first, then violently. I screamed and backed away. He started pounding on the door, not knocking, slamming, over and over, trying to break the lock. I hid behind the kitchen counter, shaking uncontrollably. And then it stopped. No pounding, no talking, no footsteps, just silence. The kind of silence that makes you feel like something is still there. The police arrived
In 11 minutes, they checked everything. No footprints, no sign of forced entry, no person on the street. The officers told me I probably scared him away when I screamed. But there's something they didn't see. Something I saw the next morning when daylight finally came. I stepped outside to breathe, and right there on my door, right next to the doorknob, was a fingerprint. But it wasn't a normal fingerprint. It was smeared, long, as if someone had dragged their finger down the wood, slowly, intentionally, like they were petting the door. I moved out 2 weeks later. Cold, final whisper. And every night since, whenever I hear even the softest knock, my chest tightens, because I know some people don't knock to enter your home. They knock to enter your life.
Some roads should never be driven at night. And this one is a trap you won't see until it's too late. This story happened to a man named Colin, who was driving home after a late shift. The time, 3:12 a.m. The highway, Old Sparrow Ridge, a place known for animal crossings and thick fog. He'd driven it 100 times. Nothing unusual. Until he saw something lying on the road. At first, it looked like a deer, but as he got closer, he noticed something wrong. It was positioned too neatly, arms straight, legs straight, like someone had lain down intentionally. And it wasn't a deer. It was a person. Colin slowed down, confused and terrified. But when his headlights fully illuminated the body, he realized something worse. The figure on the road wasn't moving, not shaking, not breathing, just lying there, face down, arms at the sides, perfectly still. Colin stopped his car about 5 feet away. Something inside him whispered, "Do not get out." But he ignored it. He opened the door and stepped onto the cold pavement. "Hey, are you okay?" No answer. He took a step closer. That's when he noticed it. The body's clothes were too clean, too new. No mud, no tears, no sign of impact. It looked like a mannequin, but it wasn't. Colin walked around to see the person's face, but as he approached, the figure turned its head. Not a normal turn, not a slow, groggy movement, a sharp, unnatural snap, like an animal reacting to prey. Its face was pale, eyes wide open, mouth stretched into a grin that didn't look human. Colin froze, and the thing on the road began to crawl toward him, not on its hands, on its elbows, dragging its body across the asphalt at a disturbingly fast pace. No sound, just the scraping of bone against road. Colin sprinted back to his car. The thing crawled faster, arms jerking, neck twisting at impossible angles. He jumped inside, slammed a door, and hit the gas. The creature reached the side of the car, and as he sped off, it smiled at him through the window. upside down, like its neck had fully rotated. He didn't stop driving until he reached the next town. He reported everything to the sheriff's office. And that's when the room went cold, because the officer said, "Sir, you're the 4th person this month to report that thing."
2 weeks later, road crews inspected Sparrow Ridge, and under a broken section of asphalt, they found a small underground crawl space. Inside it, scratches on the concrete, pieces of clothing, and a single phrase carved repeatedly into the wall. "Don't stop the car." Colin never used that road again, and neither should you.
Some parents fear the dark. Some fear intruders. But real terror comes when the thing watching your child isn't human. This story happened to a couple named Ryan and Elise. They had a newborn daughter named Mia, just 6 months old. Every night, they used a baby monitor with a camera. Clear audio, clear video, peace of mind. Until one night, at 1:58 a.m., they heard something through the monitor, but it wasn't crying. It was breathing, slow, heavy, adult. Ryan thought it was a glitch. He checked the video. The camera showed Mia sleeping peacefully in her crib, but the breathing didn't match her. It was too loud, too close. Then, suddenly, the audio cut out. Complete silence, followed by a whisper that did not belong to a baby. "Shh, don't wake up." Elise screamed and ran to the nursery. Ryan followed, but when they got there, the room was empty. Perfect, normal. Mia was sleeping, windows locked, everything in place. They checked the house. Nothing. Maybe, they thought, the monitor picked up a neighbor's signal. Until the next night. At 2:07 a.m., they heard it again. But this time, it wasn't a whisper. It was a laugh. A low, distorted giggle. Right next to Mia's crib. Ryan grabbed a baseball bat and ran to the room. Nothing. But the temperature was freezing, like the window had been open for hours, but it wasn't. Then Elise checked the camera footage, and what they saw made both of them sit on the floor in shock. The video showed Mia sleeping as usual, but in the top right corner, barely visible, was a shape, a face. Not a man, not a woman. Something pale, blurry, like a stretched mask. It leaned over the crib, but its body never entered the frame. Just the head, watching Mia, breathing, laughing. And then, right before the feed cut out, the face turned toward the camera. Its mouth opened wide and whispered, "I see you." They called the police. They checked the house again. No forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing. They slept with Mia in their room after that. something else entirely. But they do know one thing. Monitors are meant to show what's happening in the room, not what's waiting for you inside the house.
If you're hearing this, you made it to the end. 3 stories, 3 nights, 3 reminders that the world after midnight isn't empty. It's just quiet. Too quiet. If you want more terrifying real stories, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me next time, if you dare. Good night, and stay safe, because you never know what's awake when you're asleep.